This has to stop. The Republicans are not going to be a party to this. They have taken hostage the funding processes of government so that they can impose their radical agenda on the American people, and we can't have any part of it. This gambit that was done last night is a joke.
Speaker Mike Johnson saying there's no way Republicans are signing the bill that passed overnight in the Senate to end the government shutdown over DHS. This morning, Americans awoke to news that the nightmare at the airports was coming to an end. But that Senate deal was dead on arrival with the House's powerful Freedom Caucus. So the government's still shut down, 42 days and counting. But House Republicans hatched a plan to get TSA agents paid. They got President Trump to sign an executive order doing just that. For them, this has always been about one thing: border security. Listen to this.
The deranged Democrats, for 42 days, they've tried to completely eliminate funding for the #1 duty of government, which is keeping America safe. And they want no ICE. They want no Border Patrol. They want no protection of any kind to be given.
Our next guest called the Senate bill a, quote, absolute disappointment and disgrace. Joining us now is Congressman Randy Fine of Florida. And I don't mean to chuckle, but I actually appreciate the directness coming from a member of Congress. Why are you so opposed to this bill that your Senate colleagues worked really hard to get across the line?
Well, I don't know how hard they did work.
Okay.
They passed it at 3 o'clock in the morning. There were 5 senators there. We've been told many of the senators didn't even know about it because they started writing it after midnight. So I don't know how hard it was. Now, clearly they wanted to get on vacation, and I think that was the focus. But it didn't do what you claim. That bill does not end the shutdown. The shutdown was going to continue for thousands and thousands of federal employees who work at ICE and Border Protection, including those who investigate child trafficking of little girls.
Yep.
So it wasn't going to end. It was just going to be less. And we said, no, we either take care of the country or we keep on fighting.
Okay, let's also talk a little bit about this video you posted of Senate Leader Thune at the airport leaving. You can see him here. Do you expect Thune and the other leaders to come back?
Well, that's going to be up to them.
Yeah.
I expect in the next couple of hours, the House is going to pass a bill that's going to fund all of the government for the next 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And so on Monday, they could do it. Another one of their no one works sessions like they did last night, make a unanimous consent like they did last night, and they can pass our bill. Hopefully that's what they do. Otherwise, I'm sorry, they're going to have to give up some of their vacation and come back to work. Because I'd point out this, no one makes us do these jobs. We choose to do
That's exactly right.
And if you don't want to do it and you don't want to vote, don't do the job. Trust me, there's lots of people who want them.
Yep, that's true. Speaker Johnson credited Trump for funding the TSA today. Let's take a quick listen to this, and I'll get your reaction on the other side.
We are very grateful to have a strong commander-in-chief in the White House who has taken real leadership. President Trump has already ordered by executive order that TSA agents will be paid, and that machinery is in process right now.
So where's the money for that?
Well, the president's moving some money around. He declared an emergency. There's plenty of money to work with. He believes he has the statutory authority to do it. But what's better is let's pass our bill, which we're going to vote on tonight, and the Senate can pass on Monday, where we don't have to worry about this, and everyone gets paid, not just TSA. Because keep in mind, we have an obligation to every federal worker.
You think that's going to happen, though?
I hope it does. If I was the Democrats, I wouldn't want to keep the government closed. The challenge we have is what's clear is they're so focused on protecting illegal immigrants, they don't seem to care about Americans, including the Americans who are actually working in these agencies.
Yeah, but you are also responsible in the Republican Party for this debacle now. I mean, you realize that the perception of the public is that Republicans are in control of government. So, you know, I totally take your point about Democrats' responsibility, but as far as they see it, your guy's in charge and you guys are doing all this nonsense while we're waiting online.
Here's what I'll tell you. 4 times after tonight, the U.S. House of Representatives will have passed a bill to fully fund the Department of Homeland Security.
And the Democrats had a clean TSA funding bill. They're saying the same thing.
But that wouldn't fund everything. And the Senate has refused once to fund the entire government. Even the bill they sent over, thousands of federal workers, and they probably would be unpaid forever based on the views of the Democrats. So I think we need to do the right thing, reopen the government, and get back to business.
I want to ask you about the masking of ICE agents really quick. Borders czar Tom Homan, as you probably know, said this issue's a non-starter. I think we have some sound for that.
Right now, they're demanding mask off. That's a non-starter. We're not even talking about it because until you stop your language, we're not taking the mask off.
Okay, so I guess the question is, if they don't need masks at the airport, people are wondering, why do they need masks at all?
Well, I think the issue is that Democrats want to dox these people and go after their families. What I find fascinating is the sort of fetish with masks. A few years ago, Democrats wanted you arrested if you weren't willing to wear a mask. Now they want to arrest you if you do. I think they just need to figure out how they feel about the entire mask issue. I think law enforcement should be protected. I don't have a problem with them wearing masks.
Okay. Just very quick, do you think that Johnson has the votes?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We had our test vote about an hour ago, and I will say this. I love fighter Mike Johnson. I love how he's handled today. He's been a great leader of our party and our conference, and he's done a great job.
But you have some colleagues who are pretty unpredictable.
Well, you know what? I can be unpredictable, but I will be predictable tonight, and I'll be supporting the president and the speaker and getting this over the finish line.
Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.